Okay. So what was it you liked about that video, the one that was done yesterday?
It was just informative as to the
Hmm.
framework that we're working within. Kali Yuga, what's it about, and why things are happening, and the reasons for it, and how things have changed over time, which I think is really important to understand.
Yeah, it is an important thing to understand, and people come in and they always want to throw, well, Ramana, well, Ramana, well, Ramana. Well, this is not the time of Ramana. Ramana wasn't dealing with the information age of internet and endless gurus on every corner and all the and just the breakdown of society and morality. And again, if you look at what it is, it says that, kama steals the minds. Now, kama is desire. You ever heard of the Kama Sutra?
Mm,
Hello?
yeah.
The desire for that flesh, the desire for, rapid pleasure, all of those things. And that's where mankind is now. You get ones that want to come on the path, and the same thing. Oh, I want liberation, I want liberation, I want liberation. Comes down to it, they don't want to give up a thing.
Right.
No, 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 but no, I don't want to give up, my sex. I don't want to give up anything. I want more in addition to it. So they're being ruled by desire. Yet again, that's why, it says desire, comma, takes over the mind of men during the age of Kali Yuga. And then it's just strife, and it's like, that's exactly what it is. I want it, and I want it now. And ego is on its throne, and they don't want to look for the better. They think they're giving something up, but really nothing is lost of any value when one decides to really make the journey. And I think that's the biggest thing with people. Well, I want it, but I have to give up this, and oh, wait a minute. Well, you know, they come in and want to justify drug use. Well, I only smoke marijuana, and I drink because it's a social thing, and they have all of their reasons and things that they've made up in their minds as to why that should have nothing to do with it, you know. But again, there's a reason why in the older days, people that wanted to really walk a spiritual path like that and work with a guru had to prove themselves worthy. Not everybody was accepted. It wasn't just, oh, I want it, so you need to give it to me. They first evaluated whether that person was worthy, was ready to walk a path or not. They had to first travel, find a guru, and travel there. It wasn't just, oh, I'll pick up a phone, I'll pick up the internet, and then I'll let you know if you are good enough to give me the wisdom. They had to find somebody first. And, then they had to prove themselves worthy. And now it's the other way around. Now it's they're so egocentric, egotistical. Well, you're so fortunate to be able to be my guru, that type of thing. Maybe I'll allow you to give me some knowledge. And if you're really lucky, maybe I'll stick around for a while. But that's the way that it is. And the people come, they've read a couple books, they've read some Ramana, they've read some Ramakrishna, they read, a few books on Kundalini, etc., and they think they know something. And they have no experience whatsoever of any depth. Yet they're going to come in, try to tell you how to be a guru, what you're doing wrong, and they haven't even taken the first step on a viable journey. You know, I've seen this time and time again. There was one guy that came with a silver spoon in his mouth, lives with his parents, can't even take care of himself, yet he knows all the problem with every guru that comes in town. Yet he can't even take care of himself, but yet he's smarter than any guru that comes into town. And again, this is the caliber of Kali Yuga. People are so full of themselves that they are not even ready to take a first step. They don't understand what it takes, the hardship of a path. It's like going into a contemplative order. You have to be willing to let go of the things of the world. And then they read these books about New Age stuff and everything's love, 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 love. And all you have to do is say sweet, sweet words and grace will take care of the rest of it. You know, nothing to get, nowhere to go. They listen to these satsang sellers. And most of the satsang sellers, the furthest they've gone is to a bit of oneness. And so they're in that airy-fairy part of the journey, you know, and haven't gone through the depth, haven't gone through the torture, haven't gone through the really nitty-gritty and the full falling away, the deconstruction. They're in the expansion stage. And at that stage, everything is love, it's beautiful, it's all God, it's all, you know. And ego loves that. Ego loves to hear that. But of course, it's not going to take you off the wheel of karma. It's just not. You know, so people are, again, you know, they read the books, and a lot of these people that are writing the books, they've read a book and now they're just going to regurgitate it into another book. They don't have the experience. Same thing like yoga instructors. They take a course for 200 hours and then think that they know something about yoga. Great, they can bend the body into different shapes. Doesn't mean you know yoga. Yoga means union. You know, originally Hatha yoga was to prepare you for the other yogas, the yoga of the mind, the yoga, you know, the deeper things. They mistakenly use and say they're teaching Kundalini yoga because they teach this breath of fire, which is absolutely the worst thing you can do if you have an awakened Kundalini, and it's not a good way to attempt to awaken Kundalini. And they think they're on par with a Kundalini guru. They think they know something. They know nothing about Kundalini. Kundalini yoga knows nothing. They're doing Hatha yoga. They're doing some breath. They give a little bit of, you know, a smattering of Hindu things along the way and think they're teaching a path. And people that are engaging in it think they are really walking a path. And unfortunately, it's not a path. People that are teaching it are not gurus. It has nothing to do with traditional Kundalini. Nothing. It's such a misnomer. You know, so again, people think they've got all this information, but what they've got is a lot of misinformation. That's it. They've read a lot of stuff. It's all surface. Very surface.
It seems like the other thing I had gotten from that was that it seems like because of the nature of Kali Yuga and the denseness that's in operation, that now is the time to depend on the guru more than anything because you just don't know.
Well, yeah, it's the time when you have to depend on a guru, you know. And again, it's the time Kali and people, you know, don't understand the way of Kali. Kali, in the age of Kali Yuga, Kali is the way that you have to do. It's not love, light, sweet, sweet, sweet. It's that real cutting truth. That's what's needed. You need something that can cut through the layers of crap that's been, here. You need something to shake that foundation, to shake them out of their stupor. Hard hitting. It's the only way in this day and age. This is not the day and age where, things are, it takes so little because everything is running smoothly. No. This is the day, look at, we've got mass killings going on. We've got, people that are not honoring the relationship and family. They're out running, having kids, bailing on the responsibilities. They're not holding families together. We've got businessmen that are farming jobs overseas and then blame everybody here because they got to pay higher taxes. They don't want to take care of the structure where they're at. They don't want to take care. They're out bottom line for themselves and bottom line money. Greed. So there's no morality here any longer. In any shape. In family. In business. Nothing. The foundation of morality has gone. And everybody is out for themselves and what feels good in the moment without any kind of care about anyone else or anything else. I want more. They're run by their desires. So that's the age of Kali Yuga. Very difficult age. But if if you are walking a path, you have the chance to make a lot of progress. But most people throw that away. Why? Because it's between night and day. When there's such a drastic between night and day, if you start to break through, you can really see the difference. Versus when, things are, not so black and white. So this is the day and age that if people are willing to forego all the pleasures that they think they need to have, all the rest of the drama, they can actually have a chance to move forward much more rapidly. But age of Kali Yuga, kama, desire is ruling the mind. They think, again, they can have their cake and eat it too. I'm going to be the one special one that can have family, can go out and play, engage everything in the world, yet I can go beyond the world. I'm the one person that can do that because I'm so smart. You see it every day. Every day. And people don't know what they're giving up for these so-called pleasures, which wind up being bondage and wind up in the end being pain. Because they get so wrapped up in this thing that when they leave the body, they're drawn right back up into it. They're drawn right back into another form. Back at it again. Yeah. So, anyway, that's what it is, the age of Kali Yuga and what is being dealt with here. It's a vastly different world than it was 65 years ago. That's the reality. I deal with reality, not, these ideas that people come in with, very skewed about, you know, yeah, no, 65 years ago, they didn't have mass killings in school, you know. Not to say that nothing ever happened, that there wasn't, things that happened during that, but not to the extent that it's happening here, you know. Yeah, people had, you know, maybe a gun or they had, but they didn't have assault rifles. you know, we're not assault rifles. We're not, all of the drama that they have going now. It's just getting worse and worse and worse. You look at the NRA, look at the idiocy that's coming forward. There's a difference in the right to defend yourself versus carrying assault weapons. You know? Okay? And again, they are so, well, I want the right to do what I want to do, that they don't look at humanity, they don't look at the suffering that it's causing, they don't look at anything. They don't care, because I don't want to be impinged on. If I want an assault rifle, I should have the right to have it. Doesn't matter that, look at how many kids just died. Look at how many mentally ill people get a hold of these assault rifles, and look at the damage. But it's so much more important that they have the right to have an assault rifle, rather than caring enough about humanity to see they don't really need an assault rifle. They could have been fine with a regular, gun for whether they're hunting, whatever they're doing, you know. But assault rifles and things are for wars. So again, this is the caliber of what's in Kali Yuga. Difficult time. Very hard to break through, very hard to get people to understand, what a blessing morality is versus then that it's a curse.
That it's going to take something away.
That it's going to take something away. Same thing with people here, and I tell them, if you're not married and you're dating, stay out of bed. Do they do it? No. Do they listen? No. They're going to jump into bed. Consequently, they wind up with pregnancies, or they wind up, emotionally now locked up with somebody, and they have no clarity any longer. Now the clarity has all gone out the window, because now they're thinking with their nether regions. They are not thinking with any kind of clarity. They're being run by their gonads, okay? Oh baby, oh baby. So no, I mean, society needs to get back to morality. It needs to get back to a structure where it can thrive and where people can benefit. But it has so downgraded from that through every segment of society, from individual to family to business to government. The whole thing is in breakdown. And there's only one way to get to build it back up, and that's by, backing out of karma, being led around by the nose like a bull with a ring in his nose by karma and desire. The desire of ego. Me, my, I. It's all about me. It's all about what I want, and forget everything else, because I'm first. That's it. So yeah. Tough one. You know, as a guru, you would like to see, you would like to bring in morality. You would like people to understand the importance of it, the importance of living a life of integrity, the importance of living a life of transparency. Just those first things. But to get people to actually put that into effect in their lives, they come in, you say these are the rules of the ashram. You know, while you're here, you shouldn't be engaging in other teachers, other teachings. And every time you turn around on their Facebook, they got Muji, they got this, they got that. They're lying to you. They say, no, I don't do that. And you can see that they're doing it. So the first pointing they haven't followed. They lie to you to your face. And then behind in the mind, they justify all their actions. Truth of it. See it every day. Now, I don't know whether they think you're jealous of other teachers or whatever. It has nothing to do with that. Again, I've explained a million times. You get in confusion. This path is not compatible with other paths. I'm trying to give you depth. You keep going for surface stuff that sounds good to ego. I keep trying to pull you to depths to get you to, get something of value. But you keep running to here and there because this sounds better to ego. So how can I get to people to any kind of a depth? To begin to have a first step. Well, I don't want to give up my sex. I could do it, but I don't want to give up my sex. I don't see where that's an issue. I don't see where that's a problem. Somebody was asking me again, why I'm so hell-bent on Nityananda. Because, you can't say you're a celibate, putting out tantric documents for people to sign, having sex behind the scenes, and then lying about every movement of it, and then thinking he's some gauge of morality, that he's a light. That is not light. That's the darkness. And how great is that darkness? And people call it light. And they don't know the difference. He does against everything that is a spiritual path. 100%, 180 degrees away from it. And people don't understand why is my concern with that. Because he looks good. He talks the talk, but none of it has any depth. If you look at scriptures that this man is trying to expound on, he doesn't understand the first thing about it. The scripture is saying one thing, he's over here saying something else, and people think they're in relationship. Nothing has nothing to do with the what he's supposed to be. Again, So when you are, in a position of trust with people, then you do whatever you can to aid society. I'm not saying he's the only one. There are a number of them out there, and I have spoken as things, come up with them. I do speak about it. Like I said, like oneness. I spoke quite a bit about it during the time. That one's kind of died down a little bit now. But this is still going on. The other one, the Nityananda stuff, is still going on. They haven't made him accountable. People are still hanging on and waiting for that case to go to trial. He does everything he can to stall it. And meanwhile, he's trying to grab the mutt lands of a 1,500-year-old mutt. He's trying to land grab it and take it over. Do people not understand how heinous this is? 1,500 years of tradition, and he wants to run in and grab it for his own empire? Hello? But morality doesn't mean any. So what if he's having sex? That shows the age of Kali Yuga. So what? It's just sex. They don't understand the importance of celibacy. Being celibate in mind and deed. They don't understand what it is. And because the people that are, looking to quote unquote gurus like that, they have no morality in their own lives. So of course, I want to follow somebody else that has no morality. Then it makes me right. And then want to proclaim how holy and righteous they are. Again, morality has just gone right out and right down the tubes. It's such a low point of morality and decency. And willing to stand up and do the right thing, rather than put justification and denial in place because it makes us right. That's all. So, coffee hour with G. It's not easy to be a guru and watching people cutting their own throats at every turn, watching them continuing to choose bondage time and time again. Because what's bringing pleasure now will wind up bringing suffering in the end. Just like the ones that run out and jump into bed with somebody wind up with a unwanted child. For that second of pleasure, now you've got 18 years of having to be connected with somebody that you want nothing to do with. When are people going to get this lesson? When are they going to, enter into agreements and families and think before they jump into it? And understand how important it is to have that family unit and raise those children, so we don't wind up having more killers out there, serial killers, and there is no, very, very little of family unit children actually being raised with some sort of morality and even basic life skills. Now people, rather than having, paying decent wage and having a living family unit where one goes out and work and one stays home and raises the children in a viable way, now everybody has to go out and work and they depend on the schools or whatever else to raise the children, basically, and give them the lessons that they need to get at home. And the schools aren't providing that. They're just not. The schools do not teach that you need to respect authority. They're not giving anything except for facts and figures. And that's it. So again, the breakdown of society has come so far, and people are so blind that they're not even seeing just how much that things have degraded. And until there's really a shake-up and a wake-up call, things cannot change. If you want things to change, it starts with you. That's it. Grassroots, it has to start with the individual. But people want it the other way. They want all society to change first, and then they'll come along with the program later. No. It takes grassroots, one by one. You got to be willing to stand up, man up, bring some morality into your life and into your experience, and then teach others. And then it expands slowly. But it's a very long, hard, difficult process. Much easier to go down the other way, but hard to bring light. Much more difficult to bring light. Let's face it, darkness is just so much more ego-affirming. Easier to go down that road. Okay. So, people don't understand the Satanist creed is just all about fun and me. It's really what the satanic things are about. Most egotistical. Well, look how far we've come towards that. Satan became Satan because of the fall. What was his fall? I don't want to give any glory to God. I want it all for myself. That was it. That was ego. That's how he became Satan. He was the head of the choir. Very important job. He wasn't evil to begin with. His evil came out of egotistical, and that was the fall. And when he fell, he took 1/3 of the angels with him. Okay, so again, people don't even understand the basics of rudimentary religious, religion. How did Satan become Satan? What is it about? Okay. Not gratefulness for what has been provided, but egotistical, thinking that I've done it all me. And I deserve the glory, and I deserve it all. Okay. Look how fabulous I am. I'm marvelous, darling. And so that's where that came from. So I think, we can close this out, or we could go, this is a subject and a topic that could go on for days and really only scratch the surface. But that's kind of the nutshell breakdown of it. People are so much more close to being Satanists than they are to walking a viable spiritual path. And that's the sad, sad statement of fact. So, on that note, we will close this out. Namaste. yeah, my computer's just doing weird things. All of a sudden, the clock thing comes up, and other things come up, and the thing is going across the screen, and it's totally wigging out and going through breakdown. So it's got to go in today. So thank you for tuning in. Those that are tuning in that are still here, they haven't run away yet. And I hope you get something from this and that you have enjoyed our coffee moment with G. What, Raj? Raj is looking at me with a great sensation. Raj is like, yeah, okay. Well, now I can't even get the